not a bad round of applause.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Thanks for having me.
Just, thank you everyone for coming tonight on behalf of everyone at ITG and Steiner Sports as well. We just want to thank you all for being here. It's definitely a great evening with two-time Super Bowl MVP Eli Manning. Definitely thank you to Bob and Sean and everyone who worked on this great evening. So we're looking forward to this. So I was thinking last night, what am I going to say to you? And first thing that pops in my mind when I think of you, and everyone talks about easy Eli. You're a very easygoing guy. But I look at your career, nothing you've done is easy. You followed your brother and your father to Ole Miss. Can't be easy. The speed limit on the campus is your father's jersey number. You could have went to San Diego. You come to New York. You set the NFL record for fourth quarter comebacks this season. Where does it come from, such an easygoing personality, and you seem to live on the dramatic end of things a little more?
Well, it's we talk about you make things tough, just make them possible, and I think just my demeanor. I don't get too worried about things. Hey, if we're down 12 in the fourth quarter, hey, no big deal. We just got to score 2 touchdowns. You kind of you make things simple. You're right. You simplify things, and I try to with the draft and going to San Diego, I didn't think that was a place where I could go and win championships. And I know I was going to get hit hard on it, but I thought ultimately it was going to be a smart decision. And looking back on it, I got no regrets on that decision. But I think growing up with a father who played football and a brother, I enjoy playing the game. I don't get stressed about it. I work hard at it. I want to do well. I am very competitive. I think people kind of get that mixed up, saying he's laid back. That when I compete, I'm getting after it. And growing up with 3 boys playing backyard basketball, we got after it pretty good. My dad eventually had to take the goal down because Peyton and I would play, we both come back, bleeding all over the place, and wouldn't talk the rest of the day if the other guy won. So he eventually just took it down, so I was going to cause problems. So I'm very competitive and work hard, and just but have fun and don't get stressed out about circumstances, and just try to think, make things as simple as possible.
Talk a little bit about this year, the fourth quarter comebacks, the going into the season. Now, I know you don't think this way, and the team doesn't think this way, but the expectations were very low. People were killing Jerry Reese in the offseason, didn't re-sign Boss, didn't get this guy, didn't get that. You said all along you love your group of receivers, love the team as a whole. But going into the season, what was like the mindset for the team, for you, us against the world, or do you get into that?
No, you don't get into that. That's something the media writes up and this and that. I like their guys. I like their offensive line. I like our receivers, our running backs, because they're good people. They're willing to work. They're willing to put in the extra time. They're willing. Hey, it's the whole lockout that was going on last year. These guys were they wanted to work. They wanted to come and get better. Victor Cruz was at every single workout, and a number of times it was just me and him. In Hoboken, he lived nearby. I say, hey, I need to throw 40 passes today. You want to come catch? He was at every one. He wanted to get on the field. He wanted to work. He wanted to get better. And so those are the guys you like being around. It's a close-knit group of guys who work hard, and good things are going to happen that way. If you have the right attitude, the right mindset. So I was excited. I was looking forward to the season, and obviously we had we made it tight. We wanted to have to win our last 2 games just to make the playoffs, make things interesting, build up the drama. So the Super Bowl, we wanted to get down a little bit and score fourth quarter comeback. We wanted to end in a Hail Mary by the opposing team. So all that was the plan, for drama and sell tickets and all those things. So it all worked out though.
I gotta ask, I'd be naive not to. The elite comment. I heard it, and I was like, what's he supposed to say? They asked him a question. You didn't volunteer the information, I'm better than Tom Brady. You were asked a question. Of course you wouldn't be who you are and where you are if you didn't believe that. How did you take that? Did you think it was much ado about nothing?
Yeah, it's one of those deals, after you do an interview or especially on live radio, you kind of, you know, I got done the interview, I kind of walked in and back into our locker room. I sit there thinking, you know, did I say anything inappropriate? Did I say anything that's going to make a big issue? And I remember, you know, I like to go back and listen to the whole interview, but I remember thinking, I said something about Plaxico, that whole issue about Plaxico. He wasn't signed yet, and you know, they were making a big deal out that I wasn't going out recruiting him. And so I kind of made a couple of comments about that. I was like, you know, I'm probably going to get hit really hard on that. That's going to be a big deal the next couple of weeks. And sure enough, I was all wrong. It was this whole elite deal that I didn't even think anything about. You know, someone asked you, do you think you're, you know, a good quarterback? You say yes. And you know, it's not that complex. And I'm not a guy who listen. I don't listen to a whole lot of sports radio on the radio, obviously, or you know, watch the, you know, Sports Center and read all the papers. So my dad calls me the next day and says, hey, you know, you're all over the news, this whole elite deal, and they're making a big deal about it. You're going to get asked about it a bunch. You know, and compare yourself to Tom Brady and this and that. You know, I said, I think you need to kind of make a statement and clarify things. And I said, I'm not clarifying. You know, they asked me a question, I answered it. It's that simple. I'm not retracting anything from what I said. I don't think I said anything inappropriate.
Couldn't agree with you more. I heard it, and I just couldn't believe the whole thing. It was a question and he answered it.
Right. And so, you know, I was with Michael Kay the other day doing something, and you know, I kind of challenged him again this year. I said, Michael, you really got to, you know, ask another question that kind of gets something started before the season. In 07, Tiki kind of came out and questioned my leadership and, you know, called me comical. This year, Michael Kay, the whole elite deal, bringing up some drama. So I need a little drama in the life to kind of get me going, get me playing a little better football than normal. So, you know, if you can think of anything, you can start it tonight. I'm sure this is being filmed, and I'll try to say something to create a little drama for the season.
Come up with something. Talk a little bit. Was there a point in the season when you had a feeling that this was special, or did you just play it out?
Yeah, you really just play it out. I mean, we got off to a pretty good start. I mean, obviously the first game we lost, but got on a hot streak. You know, guys were playing well. We were, you know, offensively, you know, between Akeem was playing well, Victor Cruz was stepping up and making plays. Manningham, we were, you know, we were finding ways to win games in the fourth quarter, and then, you know, feeling pretty good about things. I knew we were about to get into a tough stretch of games. We went to New England, had a big win there, and then we just went on that stretch where you know, we had to play San Francisco, New Orleans, Green Bay, you know, throw in Philadelphia, who started playing a little better there at the end, and it wasn't like we were playing bad football. You know, the Saints game wasn't real pretty, but the other games, you know, Green Bay, we played them right to the wire, and they go down with 58 seconds and win. You know, San Francisco, we played them right to the wire. So we played those teams well, but all of a sudden, you know, people start saying, uh-oh, that old end of the season drought, our decline. I was saying, it's really not the end of the season. That was right in the middle of the season we had our drought. End of the season, we got 4 games left. We can finish strong and make the playoffs. And sure enough, that's what we did. Won 3 of our last 4, and you know, you just, you know, you never say, hey, this is a Super Bowl team, or hey, I think we're going to the Super Bowl in week, you know, 15. You never think that. You're just kind of thinking, hey, we got to win this next game, or what? How do we get into the playoffs? What happens to get into the playoffs? And we know better than anyone else. Once you get in the playoffs, it's easy to be hot, get on a hot streak, and win 4 in a row, which we were able to do.
I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. Best football game I ever saw was the Super Bowl a few years ago, which is absolutely prevalent. I don't know if she's here, but Cindy sent me an email the other day that had an incredible quote that I loved in it from ITG. You know, one of their branding statements is helping others see things others don't see. The Tyree play, you're dead. They got you by the jersey, you break away, you throw the pass 30, 40 yards down the field. He's double covered. What did you see? Do you remember the play, what you were thinking?
You know, we put that play in earlier in the week, and I'd say, Coach Gilbride, you're crazy. I don't know why you want me to almost get tackled and then spin out and then have Tyree catch it off his helmet. I was like, I just don't think it's going to work. And so I said, you know, I kind of put that at the bottom, you know, half of our list of plays when you rank them. And sure enough, you know, 3rd and 5 with a minute left in the game, you know, he was feeling good about it, so he called it, and you know, our offensive line did a great job blocking nobody, just like he's their coach. And you know, it was just one of those crazy days. I mean, crazy plays where I kind of felt the guys around me. I felt them have a hand on me, and your first thought is, hey, just secure the ball, don't fumble. So I kind of did that. And if you watch the play closely, and I've had some laughs with my brother about it because he kind of noticed it. At one point I almost kind of flipped the ball front, thinking it might be a running back or it might be somebody in front of me. Sometimes as you scramble, you can find a little running back sitting there, and I kind of do that. But I look up and it's Chris Snead, sitting 5 yards in front of me. I started thinking to myself, what if I would have thrown the ball to Chris Snead on that play instead of getting out and hitting David Tyree for the greatest play in Super Bowl history? Instead, it would have been the worst play in Super Bowl history. How quickly that could have happened, how easily. But they just never tackled me. I wasn't, I'm not really known for getting out of tackles. They just, my lineman kind of blocked them off of me and went out to the right. If it was the first quarter, I would have never made that throw. But it's like, hey, it's the fourth quarter, third, and it's gonna be fourth down on the next play. We got to get a big play. We're running out of time. I saw him sitting there. I said, all right, I'm gonna give him a shot, throw it up high, and hopefully either he catches it or it's incomplete. And I love Bob Papa, listening to him calling the play. He's got a receiver wide open. Is that wide open, Bob? He's got Harrison draped all over him. So I give him a hard time, but it's really, it's a great play by David, and a great catch, holding on to that thing. And another funny part, that week, Plaxico was hurt, so he didn't practice that whole week going into the Super Bowl. So David Tyree, practiced in his spot. He was playing that X position. So wherever Plaxico, we were hoping to have Plaxico for the game. If he wasn't, David was going to play that spot. And on the Friday practice, Friday is the last real practice. Saturdays is a walkthrough, so Friday's the last real practice. It's a green zone, red zone day, so it makes you kind of feel good. You throw a lot of touchdowns usually on a Friday, but David Tyree had the worst practice in the history of NFL practices. I've never seen anything like it. He dropped, I was going back and watching practice, he dropped 7 passes. I threw him 8, he dropped 7. He caught one hitch, nothing, a 5-yard pass, and he bobbled that one, I think. But it was just terrible. He couldn't catch anything, and so after practice, I kind of went up to him. I said, "Hey, we're gonna need you. I'm gonna have faith in you. You're gonna be fine." He said, "Yeah, I know." And so we get on the bus, and I usually talk to Peyton on Fridays, and give a little recap of the practice of the week, of what's going on. And I call him, and he said, "How's Plaxico?" I said, "It's not looking good. He tried to run a few routes today. He couldn't go." So, but I said, "But David Tyree had the best practice he's ever had in his life." If I fool myself into being confident, it'd be okay. If I just lie about it, it might help out. But sure enough, he caught a touchdown. He made the great helmet catch, and a big part of us winning a championship.
I just noticed Coach Coughlin come across the screen. I've met him a couple times at the office. He's an intense guy. What's that like? Has he calmed down at all? Does he push you guys? What's the dynamic like with him?
Yeah. I mean, he is a very intense guy, and we have a lot of funny stories with teammates, especially the first couple of years. He was, really probably almost a little out of control, and just how, just screaming at refs, screaming at players, we weren't very good that first year, and he was going wild, and it drove him crazy. Just, we were undisciplined, and that's, I think Coach Coughlin's kind of main thing that he's worried about is just preparation. Are we prepared enough? Has each player watched enough film? Have they, do they know the game plan well enough? Do they know all the circumstances that might possibly come up in a game, whether it's a 2-minute drill, how to use your timeouts, and every possible thing that can happen. He harps on preparation, and I think over the years, he's realized, with myself, with our offensive line, with our receivers, that I'm gonna get our receivers. I hold meetings with my running backs on Wednesdays to go over all protections, all blitzes, make sure we're sound on that. I have meetings with my receivers on Friday to go over all different things that might come up, checking plays, just 30-minute meetings, just me and them. And I think it's our offensive line are always prepared. We go over things together. So I think he's finally kind of realized, all right, these guys are going to be prepared. They're doing the extra work. Our coaches are getting them prepared. Eli's getting them done. I don't have to worry about that a little bit. I think that's what's kind of helped him relax a little bit and just say, hey, now I just got to worry about coaching. Put in my plan, and they'll handle the rest. They'll be prepared. They'll be ready to go out and play. And I think that's a big part of why he's just kind of giving us has faith in us to do all the right things to be ready to play each Sunday.
What's your routine like? Your off season, your in season, because you don't miss games. You haven't missed one in your NFL career. You're out there every day. You're extremely prepared. I watch you play, and you see things that just not many other quarterbacks or players, for that matter, are seeing. What are you doing to prepare on a daily basis, off season and in season? There's a lot of kids here.
Right. Off season. I'm big on my training and on my workouts no, I'm not on steroids. Thank you. I obviously it looks like it's very nicely to ask, but in my lifting weight, I'm not how much do you bench? I have no idea. I do lift weights. I do run, stretch. My dad was big. Growing up. He was done playing, but he was still into lifting weights. And I said, I want to start lifting weights. And he said, oh, we'll think about it when you get a certain age. But from when I was 7 years old to 14, when he finally started letting me lift a few weights, I would go out in the weight room with him. We had a little old rinky-dink weight room in the back. They had a few dumbbells and whatnot. And he would make me stretch and jump rope. That's all I was allowed to do. And I think being flexible kind of helps you. Sometimes you get in weird positions where you're getting hit and sacked. I think that helps you stay injury-free. And jumping rope with footwork. I could be on one of those people that are doing all the trick jump ropes. I can do all the tricks. I can do all those things. It's not really doing any good now, but I kind of show off a few times when I warm up amongst the players. They call me slow, but I said I can do some good. I got some quick feet, but. So I think those are a lot of things. So I do a lot of core stuff and training and staying in condition during the off season. To stay healthy during the season. A lot of it's just preparation. I do have my workout still, but just my film study. I go in on Tuesdays. That's our one off day of the week, and I go in at about 10:30 and I get home at 6 o'clock. That's it's actually one of my longest days of the week in preparation, just because I feel like it gives me a step ahead and up. So the off season, the first month, kind of after the season, my wife says, "All right, you're not allowed to do anything. I want my husband back. I need my father back." So she gets that time. She gets a full month of me not doing anything, and I rest up because during the season, and she knows it's just it's football time in my head.
I'm always curious about that. Your dad's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Peyton, obviously, one of the best ever play. You're a two-time Super Bowl MVP. What's Thanksgiving like at the Manning house? Are you guys talking football? Like, what's going on?
I got practice on Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving, Christmas, or I'm away from the family or just with my wife and child now. But yeah, we don't get the holidays. We sometimes Easter, Mother's Day, maybe. We get the different holidays. But we talk some football. Some of it's just stories, things that happen around the locker room. We're not talking. We're not talking X's and O's very much. Those type of things. We just when we get together, especially my dad, Peyton and I, my oldest brother Cooper, we just kind of like to laugh and talk about what's going on in each other's lives and just have a lot of fun.
How's Peyton adjusting to Denver? Does he like it? Excited? Feeling good?
Yeah, I think so. I talked to him the other day, and he's just trying to. It's different for him. He's obviously 14 years and one offense and one cadence and one doing something one way. And all of a sudden changing up, trying to learn new offense, new protections, new cadence, and so he's trying to kind of what things can he adjust to and what things are they going to have to adjust to him. Say, do something for 14 straight years. It's hard to say, all right, now you do it this way. And he's like, I think I'm going to do it my way, and y'all can adjust. My way's been working pretty well. So he's figuring out those things, but he's happy. I'm excited to see Peyton back in uniform. That's the biggest thing for me. Last year, very different. I'm so used to, you know, if we played at 1 o'clock, Peyton played at 4. I mean, I would after the game, I'd get dressed and I would get in the car just to, you know, get home and watch that afternoon game and see him play. I've been watching him. You know, I haven't missed many games of his since he started playing in 7th grade. And you know, I was 7 years old. And I've been going to all his games through that time in high school, watching him in college, and unless I'm playing at the same time, I'm watching his football. So it's different last year, not having him to, you know, talk about plays, talk about opposing defenses, you know, have a little talk, you know, on Friday nights or on Mondays after games. So it was a little different, but I'm excited to have those things again.
I'm just going to do 2 more, and then we'll open it up to the floor for questions. Talk a little bit about this Super Bowl versus the last one. Personally, you know, you're a father now. Was it different? Was it better having your daughter there for the trophy and all that? What was that like for you?
Yeah, you know, it was a great experience and a great feeling. You know, it's one of those things, winning a championship and that feeling right when the ball hit the ground on that last play, the Super Bowl, when you know you've won the game. You know, that feeling it's contagious. I mean, you want that feeling again. It's not one of those deals where, hey, I won a championship, you know, mark it off my list, I don't have to do it again. It's the total opposite. You know, you want to have that, you know, that feeling for that next hour when you're with your players hugging, when you're in the locker room hugging every guy and every person you see and just laughs and smiles, and you see your family for the first time. And, you know, those things are all great. The second time, the only thing that's a little different is you kind of know what to expect. At first Super Bowl, right when you win, I mean, it's an emotion. It's something that's happening to you that's never happened before. You don't really know I've never won a championship really at any level. And you know, when I'm kneeling and the game was over, I mean, it's just you want to cry and you want to scream and celebrate and hug and pray and you know, everything kind of goes through. The second time, you kind of know what to feel, and I started thinking more about the other guys who are going through it for the first time. You know, a guy, you know, Rocky Bernard, who played, you know, 12 years and never won a championship. Antrell Roll, who played in the Super Bowl a few years with Arizona, you know, been in the league 8 years and never won a championship. Akeem Dix, Victor Cruz, and those guys who are kind of going through it for the first time and just kind of remembering that and smiling for them, being happy for them.
Last one, I'll go personal note. I know you and your wife are very involved with a lot of different charity endeavors, you know, Guiding Eyes, March of Dimes, the Children's Hospital. Talk a little bit about that, you know, what you guys are involved in, what that means, and how you got involved.
Yeah, you know, we do several things and always, you know, always looking for other things to help out. But, you know, March of Dimes is a special one and dear to us, and we built a children's clinic in Mississippi that didn't really have you know, a children's clinic for people to come in and get, you know, children to get just hopefully it's just little things. Hey, they're in and out the same day, but obviously if something's more serious, they get you know, can go to the hospital and get all the treatment they need. But you know, I always you know, the hardest thing for me ever to see is a child who's in a hospital, who's sick and can't be outside with their friends or in school with their friends or playing. It just hurts. So you know, try to do everything I can to help them or brighten up their spirits. So that's kind of why I got involved with the March of Dimes. If you can, you know, try to ensure that every baby gets a healthy start in life and you know, is born healthy, that, you know, you're getting them off to a good start. And so that's how we got involved with that. And so you know, try to, you know, you want to. When you're dealing with that, you want to find stuff that you're passionate about. If you're not passionate about something, then you never, you know, fully, you know, get the full effect of things and you know, stay committed to things and work hard at making a lot of people's lives better. So we try to find things that we're passionate about, that we want to help people, and whether it's you know, issues that have affected our lives or affected my wife's lives or friends that we know, I try to get involved in those type of things.
That's great. We'll open up the floor to some questions.
What's your feeling on the bounty system?
Yeah, the bounty system. You know, it's bad. It's bad for football, and we play a physical sport where you know, you hate to see anybody get injured. I hate seeing a player get injured and have their season ended or possibly their career being jeopardized. And you know, there's enough physical hits and people taking big shots that are illegal. You don't need guys going after and attacking a specific person to try to injure them. That's not what this game's about. So I think the commissioner, I know he was going to come down hard on this to eliminate this and never have it brought up again, and obviously he's done that. So I think he's done a great job ensuring that this is out of the NFL for good.
Randy Jacobs signed with the 49ers today.
Yeah, sad and happy, I guess, and obviously when we decided to release Brandon, I was upset. A guy been a teammate of mine for 7 years. We've won 2 championships together. I've seen his kids grow up, and his wife, my wife, are good pals and great people, and he's had my back through thick and thin, and been a great player for us. So I was disappointed and when we didn't sign him back, and then excited that he's teamed up on another team. He's a good player. He's got a number of good years left. So I know we'll stay buddies, for the rest of our lives. So happy that he'll be playing football again next year.
2 more.
What's your relationship with Victor Cruz, and if you score a touchdown, would you salsa?
No, I won't salsa. Victor and I, we worked hard. He worked extremely hard this past off season, trying to make it in the NFL and earn a spot. And he had a terrific season. He's a smart guy. If you tell him something one time, he listens and he does it. And you love those type of guys. Have a great work ethic, and it shows on the field and they produce. So on his salsa, it's not my style to salsa dance, but if that means he's scoring touchdowns, he can do it all he wants. I'm happy that when he's dancing, obviously good things are happening, so I'm happy to see it.
It's the 4th quarter with 2 minutes left. You're about to start a potential game-winning drive. What's it like in the huddle? Do you pump your guys up? Do you try to calm them down? Do you talk to them? What do you do?
No, it's I guess kind of the calm before the storm a little bit. It's quiet. It's everybody's just sitting out there. I run out there. You kind of look at them. I'm not saying a whole lot. I might tell them how many timeouts we have, or hey, we need a touchdown here, or hey, we just need to get inside the 25-yard line. Just give them some information. You call the play and you go. I think the guys understand. I don't have to tell them, hey, we got to go here. They know. There's 2 minutes left, man. We know. Just call the freaking play. That's what they're saying. We know the circles. We know. We know we got to move the ball here. So we have a great group of guys. Our offensive linemen are hard-nosed and tough and prepare well, and receivers are playmakers. So it's just a matter of, hey, that first play I like to get a completion. Hey, let's get 6 or 7 yards, or let's just get moving. Let's get that no huddle and start. That's when it's when we're at our best. I think when we're just calling plays and you're not having to think and over prepare. It kind of becomes backyard football a little bit. And people ask, well, why don't you always do the no huddle? Why don't you always do a 2-minute drive the whole game? I say, well, I think you kind of like to have that on your side when you need it. If you did it the whole game and also you got to the 4th quarter and you had to do it, one more time, people are going to kind of, know your tendencies, know your plays, know your, that rhythm. I think also you have one way of playing, and also you speed it up and you change that rhythm, you're at the advantage now.
All right, well, thank you guys very much.